Okay, hello there. I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to go over OpenSUSE or OpenSUSE or SUSE. Either way, I've been working in OpenSUSE now for, I installed it on the 30th of last month, so that would be one day. The day's the 13th, so that'd be 14 days ago I installed OpenSUSE on this machine. And to be honest with you, I have really enjoyed it. I've booted up this machine every chance I got during the day, every day, and have just really enjoyed. There's been only a few flaws, and we'll go over those, but primarily it's been nothing but good. But I mean, it's going to involve some steps. You're not going to be able to just download it, install it, and call yourself done. You know, if you want to watch movies, create content, you're going to need some codecs and streamers and transcoders and a bunch of stuff like that doesn't come in because it's not FOSS, open source software. But you can get it. It's just a matter of following along with their guides. And you can get all of that stuff. And we'll go over that in just a minute here. So let's go over to the web page here. We should be now seeing the web page. This is OpenSUSE.org #Tumbleweed. Now, that comes in two versions, and I really shouldn't have to explain all this stuff because if you're interested in Tumbleweed, you probably already know this. The difference between Tumbleweed and Leap: Tumbleweed is a rolling release that will update every day if you choose to do it. Leap is a distribution or a system that's going to only update regular release versions. So you might wait 6 months for an update. You might wait longer than that for a package to update a package. I'm not sure. I can't swear by that. But in their favorites, when you get a web browser, if I click home button here, they use DuckDuckGo as a DuckDuckGo. They use DuckDuckGo as their search engine, and that's a pretty nice feature, a rather nice feature. So here's Tumbleweed and here's Leap, and this is what I installed here. If you click on here where it says install, you'll get plenty of other options here. The overview, the download, but here I actually downloaded both the offline and the network image, and when I installed on this machine, I used the offline. Difference being network is only 231 megs, but you'll have you will have all the options that were available on the offline image. Difference is if you're not online, you can still install it with the offline image. So that's pretty nice. It is a big download. Most of those links are already here. This is OpenSUSE documentation, software. You can search for packages here. Let's search for Flatpak, and there they are. OpenSUSE. Why is that so big? This is their news page. You can read through their news if you wish. Here's a portal. Like I said, these links will be readily available for you to browse through. Here's their forum. Here's their planet, OpenSUSE.org. Here's where you're going to come to get your multimedia codecs, and this is in the, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the favorites, or bookmarks, I'm sorry. If you installed, like me, Xfce, this is, and you need the codecs, here they are. You're going to get MP3, DVD, DivX, MP4, X265, 264, Windows Media Video, Windows Media Audio, Movie, and more. Click the one install right here, one click installer. If you're running Xfce like me, Xfce is a GTK based system, so is GNOME. So click here. This is where you'll get them. This is for those versions there. If you're looking for an older version, you'll have to go somewhere else. Right here, maybe. Nope, right here. That's the only version option. It says also, if you're going to do this, you need to go to your YAST software management into repositories and select the Pacman repository and click on switch system packages, and we'll look at that in a minute. If you're installing with the NVIDIA graphics card and you can make it this far through the installation, come to this page first off before you do updates or anything. Come here and do this one-click install. Find your card, and if it's available right here, 700, 600, and 400 series, then install that, reboot, then carry on. All right. Here's how to add package repositories, the online ones, on disk official repositories, and here's their wiki. I'll minimize that and get that out of the way for a second here. Like I said, all that will be in the notes, the links that you'll need. Take a quick look at my menu here and my favorites. I got FeatherPad, Disk, that's GNOME Disk, OBS Studio, which is running now, Kdenlive, Audacity, Krita, GUVC View, YAST, and YAST software. YAST has its own category right there to get to each thing individually. GNOME System Monitor, System Monitoring Center, and Simple Screen Recorder. So let's see, this one works, yep. We're using 3.2 gigs with the Firefox open and OBS running and my notes and etc. I've been running for a while here. So I've been using this really for a while. Let me bring up my notes. I saved for a while, a couple weeks now. Here's those links. Here's a cool cheat sheet. Here's a cool OpenSUSE cheat sheet that was not in the links you just saw, but I will put it in the description below. Here's basically copied and pasted right off of their website. It uses Zypper for a package management. Bring this up. And you can just run a man command on Zypper, and you can see the different options, refresh, dependencies. You can even test to see a dry run, I believe they call it. Here that is refresh, update, search, install, info, patch info, and patch check. Oh, so Zypper seems to be really nice. I watch it when it installs something, and it actually seems like it's verifying everything as it's going. Pretty nice. Now, if you want to see all your active repos in a terminal, here's the command for that. There's another way to do it, and we'll go to that real quick here. Bring up another terminal. And this will show you all the repos that are running if you're just interested in a terminal real quick. It stretches it on out, don't it? Here they are. Here you got Pacman, which is the main one. But you can also do that through the right here through the YAST software. See the repos that are enabled. Service management, YAST2 is the service manager, and that's a great feature, I tell you. And actually, I should have started off here. I'm going to go to YAST software. And going back to the previous video where I showed you how I installed OpenSUSE. Some of the little tips that you might get on the way there. I found another way. Just say you went through the installation and you said, oh man, I should have got something that was in that software list. Well, you open up the package manager, YAST2 software, you click on patterns right there, and now all of a sudden these same categories are here. And games, remember I installed that and I couldn't find it. So when I came here to discover this and went to games, I could see the ones now that I could install, and I did. And you can see there's quite a little selection there. So I thought that was pretty neat that you could go back, even if you missed this during the install, which most people will. I did the first time or two. But even if you miss it, you can still go back to do this, which is pretty nice. There's some good stuff in here. I'm going to cancel out of the software there. That's a great tool. YAST2 is a great tool. I'll bring that up while we're here. This is one heck of a control center. From everything from software to miscellaneous. Network security, network services, hardware, app armor, firewall. So far I've spent probably an hour or so, maybe probably longer to be honest, just going through here and looking at the stuff like bootloader. You click on bootloader, and I did change this. I'll show you boot options. Right here, this was 10. I changed it to 5 in the timeout seconds. So when you get to the grub at 5 seconds, it'll start. It was set at 10. So this is pretty nice. Let's see, service manager. That's even nicer. Here you can see all the services that are running, or enabled, or disabled, or just stopped. You can start and stop them as well. I should say, you can stop and start them as well. Come on. It's got a lot of stuff going on right now. Very good. Let's go find one we'll recognize real fast here. WPA supplicate is active and running, as well as a lot of other stuff. Network manager, active and running. I'm going to cancel out of that, and yes, I want to abort. Change your host name or add a host name. I mean, this thing is incredible. It's incredibly detailed. A lot of stuff can be done right there. Okay, some programs that are going to be installed by default were INXI or INXI, GNOME Disk Utility, Calculator. I spelled that wrong, dyslexia. Menu Libre, LightDM Greeter Settings, Document Viewer, GIMP, Shotwell, Firefox, LibreOffice, and Hunspell. Small list of software that I've installed here, in case you want to pause it and take a glance at that. Requires password one time. That's the YAS software. If you'll notice, when I opened it up, I had to put in a password one time. But from then on, you were free to continue. I don't know how many times you could do that before it would ask for a password or how much time delay, but right away, you just do it one time and boom, you're good to go. I like it. It's like using a terminal. So they got their own wallpapers -OpenSUSE -extra. This stuff here came in through that YAS software that was just open. It's funny, sometimes you'll get a command. Let's see, I'm going to demonstrate that. Let's just type in something gooberish, YUP or YEU. All right, so if you type in something it doesn't recognize, it says you can run the CNF command, which stands for command not found. I thought that was hilarious. All right, so I did install Flatpaks, and I got Kdenlive, Fedora Fedora Project Media Writer, OBS Studio, Power ISO, Nix Writer, System Monitor, and now I have Audacity, and we'll get to that in just a second here. For CMatrix, you'll have to go here and download a RPM file, double click it, and it'll ask you, do you want to run it with or install it using the YAS2 installer? Select yes, and you're good to go. Now we have CMatrix. And the arguments are set up, or the flags. All right. Codecs, transcoders, transcoders, streamers, and codecs, etc. All right, so that's where we was just at right there, where you add the OpenSUSE-community.org, and we're going to select the GNOME codecs for the Xfce desktop. That's where you're going to start. Then you're going to start by adding this Pacman repository that it talked about going into YAS. I believe it was software, yeah. Go to repositories. Here, and now you can see the active ones, and you can add them or take them out, whatever you want to do. But here's where it said click on switch to system packages. I did that. So we're going to cancel off of that and get out of there. Okay. Then after you do that, add the repository. You want to do a zipper refresh, which is it's like a Pacman SYU, or not SYU, SYY. Going to refresh the repository database. Then you'll run this, and it'll allow that vendor change for the Pacman. Or you could do it in the GUI like I just showed you. This will do it through the command line. So I installed another program called OPI, short for OBS Package Installer. It has nothing to do with OBS Studio. And once I installed that, zipper install OPI. Then I typed in OPI codecs, and a whole bunch of other codecs and transcoders and streamers came in. Or you could run OPI Pacman, do the same thing, I believe. It's simple to use. If you do zipper, you can do OPI. After I got Zipper does not have OBS Studio in the repository. OBS is installed as a Flatpak. After I did added the codecs and stuff, I was able to get my MS fonts using fetch MS TTF fonts. I installed the Flatpak with OpenBSD. Swappiness is a little different. You can pause that if you want to look and see how to change your swappiness. Originally, it's going to be set to 60. Okay, some real quick weirdness here. My network manager applet right there just disappeared on day 3 of me using this. It was gone. And, I found it. It was the system tray plugin. So it was easy to replace. But for some reason, it was just gone. And I don't know what happened, but something happened and it decided it didn't like the tray plugin. It also has changed my default settings. When I open up a picture, I expect to open it up by default in Nomax, and it would change itself to the Chromium browser, especially JPGs. And I've had to do that now probably 6 times. Go back and change it to the Nomax as the default picture editor or opener. Several times I wrote here, and I wrote that about probably 5 days ago. Okay, so this one right here was almost a showstopper. I was using Audacity. I had recorded the video on the installation, and then I put it on this machine, put the video files on this machine, and I was going to do all the editing on this machine. After all, it was OpenSUSE. And right in the middle, Audacity just decided to stop playing audio. It would record, it would import, it would not play. And I changed every setting I could find in the audio mixer. I changed all of this around several times. I went and actually uninstalled Audacity and reinstalled it, and it still would import, record, and play, seemingly play, but with no audio output. So I said, let me try as a desperation, let me try Audacity as a Flatpak. And then when I did that, everything just worked. I mean, I had to tell it in the preferences where to listen to or where to play to, but so what? It still played. But by then, I'd done moved to another distribution and did the editing on that. But when I come back to it, this is how I solved that. And I still to this day have no idea. And when you do install it through a Flatpak, you'll have 2 options, the codecs and the Audacity itself. All right, so the last one here, I guess, actually there's one more. My LXDE GTK greeter. No matter what I do in here, to change the image, the color, or my default user image, the only thing I have apparently control over is the font and the window position. Everything else, it won't save. And I opened it up with sudo, went into super user and opened it up that way, opened it up from the menu. Either way, you still have to enter a password. It will not change. So I'm not sure what the deal was with that, but it's definitely a deal. I mean, I want to edit it the way I want it to look and go from there. All right. I think that's going to do it. Other than the actual stuff that I've done, all these web links right here will be put them in the description below, so you can just copy and paste if you'd like. I'll copy most of my notes over into that as well as giving you my opinion. Let's go back. This is going to conclude this part. I can probably close my notes out now. Get rid of that. OBS is still running. So, okay, so that's going to conclude this demonstration of OpenSUSE with the Xfce desktop. Really, I'm going to be honest with you. I tried this a year or so ago, and for some reason I wasn't in a space or a place in my life to investigate it more other than install it and look around and say next. And I'm sorry I did. I could have been using OpenSUSE now for the last couple years. So I've decided the machine that we're on right now is a Dell Optiplex 7010. It does have 32 gigs of RAM and the i5 core processor, but I'm about to put it on another machine with the SSD, and I believe it's a T3620. It's a i7, and I forget how many gigs of RAM, but it's a better machine than what's on right now. But it's going to be on an SSD, so that'll make it even that much better. And I'm gonna start using OpenSUSE. As it sits right now, I have 3 operating systems that I use for my creation. It would be Fedora on my left, Linux Mint Debian Edition on my right. The machine I'm on now is on my far right, and that's just my test machine, and it's all on hard drive. But the one that's right under me is the T3620, and I'm going to put an SSD in it, and that's what's going to be running OpenSUSE, unless something happens where it don't. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope it didn't run too late. I've been just really busy. I wasn't able to get to this any earlier, and I feel like that there was so much to cover, I just rushed right through it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And as far as a good source to have, it would be cubiclenate.com. And he's been running OpenSUSE for, I think he said 10 years now, quite a while. And I gleaned some good information for myself there. For instance, how often should you update OpenSUSE Tumbleweed? Should you do it every day? He says about once a week for the average user. So I'm not doing it every day, but I am going to do it once a week. Actually, I'm probably through with this machine and OpenSUSE, but I'm going to put it on this other machine. The only problem I might have is it does have an NVIDIA video card. A video. That sounded like King of the Hill, didn't it, Hank Hill? It does have an NVIDIA video card, graphics card. And I showed you that website, and I'll be heading right to it. If I can get to a screen that'll allow me to get to it, I'll be doing that. Thanks very much for watching. I really enjoyed OpenSUSE. Peace out, guys. Bye.